Stick around for the most haunting review of them all. Boo! What's going on, everyone? ODC here, and I'm back with another action figure review. Today's review, we're going to take a look at the Mythic Legion's Advent of Decay. This is Hagnon. This was a figure that was probably lower on my list as far as importance of getting, but once I decided to go all in, I was pretty much pleased. I wasn't sure if he was going to turn out. I think there was prototype pictures of him all in this kind of like all white, and then there was clear photos, and then there were green photos, and some people were kind of speculating, oh god, I hope he's not green. Oh god, I hope he's not white. Oh god, I hope he's not clear. But the Four Horsemen, actually answered everybody's prayers and made this guy a translucent clear plastic. It is not your typical DC collectible style clear plastic. This is a much more pliable clear plastic. It's not the type that's going to snap on you. It's not a brittle clear plastic. This is a higher resined clear plastic. It's much more durable. On top of that, as you saw in the beginning of the video, if you do have your lights on, and I don't have the best camera here, I'm not going to lie, but if you do have your lights on long enough and you turn them off right away, he does glow in the dark, and if you don't have a camera and you leave him on your shelf, he is going to glow in the dark nonetheless. So, pretty pleased. I think the Four Horsemen did a great job in making him a glow-in-the-dark figure. I think he's a real deal style glow-in-the-dark figure. The entire body illuminate. I think they did a pretty good job with that. And I'm going to segue a little bit here. I'm going to go outside the norm of my review, and I'm going to discuss a little bit of his backstory, because it is quite intriguing, to be honest with you. Now, as far as the little read-up, the little synopsis goes, it pretty much explains that he was a soldier for the Order of Aetherion, and I guess he was taken capture by Mandibulus, yeah, I think it's Mandibulus. I'll say Mandibulus. I always mess that name up for some reason, so I apologize. But Mandibulus captured him and brought him to Morgulith, which then killed poor Hagnon, and then resurrected him as one of her disciples for the Necronomicus. So that's a pretty intriguing backstory right there. I think it would be a cool idea to re-release Hagnon, but in his regular soldier form, outside of his ghostly ghoul form that we have right here. I think that would have been a really good idea for them to maybe do a 2-pack down the road. If they ever go that 2-pack, maybe double deluxe figure, or whatever you want to call it, whatever term they want to coin it, they could go that route with his ghoulish form, maybe re-release his ghoulish form right here, and then release his regular form with his regular human head. I think that would be pretty cool idea, and I think a lot of Mythic Legions collectors would appreciate to see him in his regular human form too. So it's just an idea. It's just something to throw around. I'm taking a look at his accessories. I don't think I'm going to remove his accessories right here. They're pretty simple to get on the clasps, as far as all of the metal clasps going around his neck. If the head does come off with the neck peg, not to worry. Just use a little bit of heat, and whether it's the hot water method or a hair dryer, which I highly recommend you use a hair dryer. It just works a lot faster. You can separate the neck from the head. It's not a big deal. But that's how I put the neck clasp on, and that does connect to this metal ball right here and chain. And then for the shackles right here, we have some more metal, and there actually is some sculpted detail going on there, some paint as well that give off that silvery, and then there's like a rust wash going throughout the clasps. I think it looks really good. They did a very good job on this, and there's actually like a little bit of rust going throughout all of the chain links too. So very good job on those accessories right there, and you can have those chains going behind him, in front of him. I like them in front of him. I think that looks pretty cool. If you want to switch things up, you could have those behind him, and maybe that's still how he was captured, and now he just stayed that way in ghoul form. But moving him aside and taking a look at his other accessories here, we have his weaponry, which is his shield. This is, shields can always be used as weapons as well as a defense mechanism. But we have a nice dry brushing going throughout the shield. I think it looks really good. It's pretty much just like a all brown, and then there's a silver wash going throughout to give off that really battle-hardened look. I really do like that a lot. They really nail the weathered look for their paint applications for all of their shields and weaponry. And then on the back, we have some more shading and dry brushing going throughout. Just a very bang-up job on this. And they even included some dry brushing and some paint wash on the handle itself, which looks just so good. I mean, it's so hard to not recommend you get any of these figures, but I mean, really, when you see all of the hard work and dedication that were put into each figure, it's really hard to say pass on this figure, pass on that figure, Here's his sword. We've seen this kind of goblin / orc type sword. Really good paint apps on this one, though. I like the nice bone protrusions coming out for the handle. Looks really good. And then we've got some paint shading going throughout the handle as well. So really good job on that handle, giving off that bone type look. Here it is on the other side. And then we've definitely got a lot of the charcoal gray for the blade itself with a nice rust wash going over it. It looks so good, just so damn good. Very cool. As far as the other accessories go, here is the other head, and actually he comes with plural, multiple heads, 3 heads total. The one that comes on the figure already, which is a brand new sculpt that I showed already. And then you have this one, which came with Malleus and a couple other figures like Mandibulus. But pretty awesome. The jaw is articulated with this head, so you can open it and close it if you want to. But it's just an extra option for you to use. And then he also comes with this knight head, which would be the remnants of what was left over from the Order of Aetherion. So I guess this was his helmet that he was using. So you can use this if you want to kind of gear him all up in his knight look. He also comes with a belt, which I don't think I'm going to use. I'll probably give this to another character, but there is his belt with his little bit of a sheath right there. And for his last bit of accessories, he comes with 2, yes, a left and a right, translucent plastic shoulder armor pieces. Okay, and here's what Hagnon looks like with the other alternate head with the articulated jaw. And there's with the jaw wide open. I know it's a little tough to see due to my white background. I probably should have switched up my backgrounds, but it's okay. And here is Hagnon with his knight helmet on. Looks pretty cool. I've just kind of got it kind of propped up. It actually seats a little bit lower. It's just kind of tough to get this head back on. And one of the tighter fits is this helmeted look, but that's pretty much what he looks like with it on. Okay, and here's Hagnon with his shoulder armor on, excuse me. Looks pretty good. It's just not, I don't think I'm going to have him displayed with the shoulder armor on. I think I like him without the shoulder armor on. Just personal preference, but that's the best thing about Mythic Legions. You can pretty much have them set up any way you want. As far as Hagnon's articulation does go, the head can swivel at a full 360 rotation. Pretty much just swiveling the neck at this point. If you want better range of motion, better rotation, you'll have to take the neck clasp off, the neck iron off, whatever you want to call it. But he can, if you hold the neck, he can swivel at the head as well by itself. His head does look up about that far. It does look down. It is hindered due to the neck piece. So let me just pop this off with without that piece on. Okay, and here's his range of motion without the neck piece on. Obviously, his head can look up a lot better due to that neck piece not being on. The head can look down. You can get a full 360 rotation if you need to. And actually, you know what? This is one of the few figures where you can actually rotate the head all the way around at a full 360 and get away with it. He is a ghoul. He is dead. And you could go that route. I want to say maybe with the majority of the Necronomicus characters, you could actually have their heads flipped around if you wanted to give them that extra creepy look, you know? So there you go with the head articulation. It also does tilt side to side to give off that creepy vibe, is kind of how I had him set up in the beginning of the video. And then let's check out the jaw. Oh, we got some jaw turkeys called Cletus. Oh, Hercules. The arms go up about that far, and they go down. You can do a full 360 rotation. It's just a little bit hindered due to his shackles here. Single jointed elbow. We do have a swivel at the elbow, a bend at about 90 degrees. We do have a swivel at the gauntlet right there, a swivel at the wrist, a hinge joint going back and forth. And if you swivel it, it can go up and down as well. There you go. And then he does have a diaphragm joint pretty much, a waist twist, crunches back, crunches forward, and then he does pivot side to side as well. So there you go. Good range, decent range of motion with that. He can do the splits very nicely. He can Van Damme it. Van Damme it! Legs go forward, legs go back. Single bend at the knee. Really good range of motion. I don't have any tight joints on him. Everything is very, not stiff, but just fluid on him, if that makes sense. So really good bend at the knee, a really good swivel at the knee, a swivel at the ankle as well. Points the heel, points the toe. He does have an ankle pivot and 2 peg holes at the bottom of his feet. Let me see if I can get those in frame. And there you go. Bop, boop. There you go. Okay, as far as sculpt and paint go, well, this is going to be a very short segment because as far as paint goes, he is just a translucent plastic with a little bit of paint on the eyes. Obviously, the majority of the paint apps, like I said, they're going to be on the eyes, and they'll be on the shackles, I should say. Like I pointed out earlier, he's got a little bit of a wash going on throughout the shackles. It's got a little bit of a rust with some black paint shading too, and that's going throughout the chain links also, which is just such a nice job. I mean, even though he lacks in a lot of paint due to him having kind of a gimmick, I think it works as far as the gimmick goes and as far as the paint applications on what he does have. I like the white eyes. That's a nice touch. Very intelligent as far as working with the glow-in-the-dark feature. That's pretty cool. As far as his sculpt goes, it's pretty much that skeleton body that we've seen before with the skeleton. We've got some armor over the skeleton arm. All of these arms are pretty much kind of skeleton-y-ish all the way up to the gauntlet. And then on the thighs is a skeleton leg going into the armored boots, which we've seen before, and the armored feet. So pretty cool there. I mean, I know it's kind of difficult to pick up some of the sculpt on here because I got a white background with a clear translucent figure. So I apologize for that. I'm a little bit unprepared, I guess. But, I mean, you pretty much have seen this sculpt before. Now, where he really shines is this head sculpt. And as you can see, this is... no one else has this head sculpt. This is a new head sculpt for Hagnon, and this is his head sculpt, as far as I'm concerned. It looks really cool. I like the... I would actually be interested to see... this would be one of the heads I wouldn't mind, actually, the Four Horsemen reusing, because I would actually like to see this all painted up and be able to see all the sculpted detail with some paint applications kind of bringing all of that out. But as you can see here, he does have some ears. He's one of the few of the Necronomicus that actually have ears. Believe it or not. He does have a... Looks like he still has some flesh on him. He's not a full skeleton head. He still is kind of, I guess, you know... falling to pieces as we speak, still deteriorating. He does have some teeth. I think those are teeth. Yeah, those are teeth right in there, if you guys can see that. Right there. He's kind of got the little bit of teeth showing. And he is almost a full skeleton head. He's got some teeth, a little bit of flesh. You can see going over the mouth and whatnot, on the chin, over here near the lower jaw. He's obviously got the ears and some, looks to be like some little bit of divots and stuff like that. A little bit of flesh hanging over this, what's left of him, hanging over his skull. So, pretty cool there. I really like the sculpt there overall. Okay, as far as size comparisons go, we've got a translucent radioactive man on the Hyperion body mold on the left, and then on the right we have the multiple man action figure on the Bucky Cat body mold. Okay, with our next comparisons, we've got a WWE Elite figure in Shawn Michaels on the left, and we have a DC Universe Classics in Hawkman on the right. Okay, and last up, we've got a Motu Classics in Vicor on the left, and we've got Sir Gideon Havensbrand from the Mythic Legions action figure line. Okay, as far as Hagnon's packaging goes, this is the single-carded released packaging right here. We've got Mythic Legions on the bottom, we've got the Four Horsemen logo up top, and then on the left it says MythicLegions.com, SourceHorseman.com, which is the forum, and StoreHorseman.com, which is their store. On the back, we have the insert card artwork for the Mythic Legions issue number 1 comic book, placed on the back of the card for each card, and looks beautiful. On this side, we have a logo of the Necronomicus clan. On the other side, we have a picture of Hagnon, and if you want to pause it and read it, there is Hagnon's backstory. Okay, so my final thoughts on Hagnon here is, wow. It really took me by surprise, let me just say that. It's another one of those figures where I'm pleasantly surprised at the end of the day. Overall, I'm going to give him a 2 thumbs up, and definitely give you the full seal of approval as far as I'm concerned, getting him. I didn't have any quality control issues with him. His gimmick works. It's not just, it's not even say on the package that he has a gimmick. It doesn't even say that he's glow in the dark, and there's no special packaging notification letting you know that he is that. I think all the accessories that he comes with works. I love that he came with 3 heads. How many figures get 3 different heads? You know, whether they're used prior is irrelevant. He still came with 3 heads at the end of the day, which is fantastic as far as leaving your options open. And being able to create him how you want to create him. Maybe he's got different stages. Maybe he can have different looks. Maybe he doesn't just have to look like this. He can have his helmeted look if he wants to. He can have his full skull with the articulated jaw. He can change his looks. At the end of the day, he is a ghoul. So there is a lot more to work with this character than maybe a lot of people think. I think the paint apps on him are used very intelligently. He doesn't need a whole lot of paint apps because he's got the glow-in-the-dark gimmick, and he is a ghoul at the end of the day. So that's pretty awesome. I love that we've got something different here. It's not just the same old, same old. But anyway, I digress. Like I said, 2 thumbs up here. I love the paint apps on him. I love the ball and chain. I love his shackles. I love the extra heads. Everything that he comes with works. So go get him. I don't know. There's nothing else for me to really say. But besides, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Hit the bell for notifications until you see 2 little parentheses hanging over the bell. Hit the like button if you like the content and you want more. And that's it. And I'll see you guys on the flip side.